Up to Siman Lamed Beis Sif Lamed Zayin. The Mechaber says Or Habatim, the batim tzarich liyos ma'or behema chaya va'oif taharim. It has to come from the hide of a kosher animal, a chaya, an oif, an or behema. But it has to be a kosher animal. The Mishnah Berurah says the reason being is because it says Tia Teres Hashem Beficha. Teres Hashem Beficha means the Torah of Hashem has to be that you could eat it. Now Teres Hashem Beficha is usually meant for the Torah. The Torah is the klaf itself, the mezuzah, the tefillin, the Seif Torah. Over here it's the batim. Why is the batim considered Teres Hashem? Because there's a shin on the batim. And even though the shalyad doesn't have it, the shalrosh has batim, has a shin, so it's mamash has the din of the ksav, and the klaf has to be from a kosher animal. So to the batim also has to be from a kosher animal. Says the Mechaber, afil nevela treifishalim. It doesn't have to be that it was shechted properly. It just has to be a kosher species. As long as it's a cow, even if the cow was shot in the head, that's a nevela, you could still use its hide to make the batim. And you could even use a fetus of an animal. Placenta, I think a shalil is a placenta, because if a fetus, v'chein haritzuas yachal asas meklaf v'or shalil, and the ritzuas also. Tzarich sheyeh me'ubed l'shmai. The batim have to be me'ubed; they have to be treated l'shma. Meaning, when you put the hide in the lime, it should be put in l'shma. Heicha de'efsher, when possible. Unlike the klaf, which must be done lishma, and if not done lishma, it's puzzle, the batim, it's more lichachila. Why? So the Mishnah Berurah explains, because according to the Rambam, you shouldn't be treating the batim with lime anyway. According to him, it makes it softened, and it's not good. So even though we paskin that it should be put in lime, and it should be processed, to make it lishma, when the whole thing the Rambam believes is not necessary, we're not going to go so far. Okay. Mechaber says in Lamed Ches, Yaseh dalid batim me'or echad l'shel rosh. The shel rosh, the 4 boxes of the shel rosh, should be from one hide. Ideally, meaning you take the one hide and you just fold it in a way, but it's really one piece of hide of the animal, one leather. Ubayis echad l'shel rosh, and one box for the shel rosh, for the shel yad. So the shel rosh, all 4 boxes should be made from one hide. So the Mishnah Berurah points out, what if it's sewed together from 4 different pieces? Is that enough? What if it's glued together? So I'll read the Mishnah Berurah. Mishnah Berurah says, if you have 4 boxes that are sewed together, the Magen Avraham says it's fine. That is considered one. Also is lenient if it's sewed together. Let's say they're not sewed together, they're just glued together. So 4 different boxes, you put glue between each four of them, and you glue them together. Machmir sham, the chasam sofer is machmir. It doesn't work. But the chayad bar zerua mashma, it's to be makel. And the Mishnah Berurah says apparently the minig in Europe was they would glue it together. But lechachila it should be from one box, from one hide. Because some are machmir that say sewing is not enough and gluing is not enough, so avoid the shaylas. The 4 boxes, though, they have to be slightly separate, meaning that you could actually put like paper in between. He says, now apparently what they would do in Europe, this is a game, this is not good, they would mamish glue it together to the point where it's one solid mass. And then they would just scratch on the top 4 different carving to make it look like it was carved through. He says, because it's not so pasha what that works in the Yevid. The puzzle. Manoshach it's no good, because if you're gluing it together and you consider it the glue effective, then it's one box. And if you consider scratching on top separating, then it's 4 separate boxes. So what you should do is it should be one hide, but it should not be completely glued together. It should be that there's actually a little bit of airspace, conceptually. Not physical airspace, but it should be that it's not mamish glued together. The truth is like this. If it's from one hide, we don't really care whether there's airspace. That's a chumrah, I think, or if Gavi, whenever he sells stuff, like in his, he sells like chumrah. The chumrah is that even one high, there should be airspace in between, like a little bit of, not airspace, you should put a paper in between. But if it's one hide, it's really not a problem. If it's made of four and then it's glued together, it should not be glued so tight that it's that you can't get a paper in between. But the truth is, if it's one hide, it's pashas mutter, but it's a chumrah to have it that you could put a paper in between.